Out there somewhere is a large island. It's kind of a mystery.
What island's that?
Well, the sharks call it Ship Trap Island. A suggestive name, and it sailors have a curious dread of the place. I don't know why.
I can't see it. I can't even see 4 yards. It's like moist black velvet out there.
It'll be light enough in Rio. We should make it in a few days. Hope the Jaguar guns have come from Purdy's. We should have some good hunting up the Amazon. Great sport hunting.
Best sport in the world.
For the hunter, not for the Jaguar.
What are you talking about, Whitney? Look, you're a big game hunter, not a philosopher. Who cares how the Jaguar feels?
Well, perhaps the Jaguar.
Listen, they don't understand what's going on.
Well, even so, I think they understand one thing. That's fear. Fear of pain, fear of death.
Nonsense. This hot weather's made you soft, Whitney. Listen, there are 2 classes in this world. The hunters and the huntees. Luckily, you and I are hunters. Think we passed that island yet?
I don't know. I can't tell in the dark. I hope so.
Why?
Well, it has a reputation. A bad one.
What, cannibals?
Hardly. Even cannibals wouldn't live in such a god-forbidden place. But it's gotten into the sailor lore somehow. Didn't you notice that a crew was all nervous today?
Yeah, they were acting a bit strange now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Captain Nielsen.
Yeah, even a tough-minded old Swede. He'd go up to the devil himself and ask him for a light. Those fishy blue eyes held a look I never saw there before. All I could get out of him was this place has an evil name among seafaring men. Sir. Then he said to me, very gravely, "Don't you feel anything? As if the air about us was actually poisonous." You shouldn't laugh when I tell you this, but I did feel something. Like a sudden chill. There was no breeze. The sea was flat as a plate glass window. We were drawing near the island. What I felt was a mental chill, sort of a sudden dread.
Pure imagination.
One superstitious sailor can taint the whole ship's company with his fear.
Yeah, maybe.
But sometimes I think a sailor has an extra sense that tells him when he's in danger. Sometimes I think evil is a tangible thing, with wavelengths, like light and sound. An evil place can, so to speak, emit waves of evil. Anyhow, glad we're getting out of this zone.
Wow.
Well, I think I'll turn in now, Richard.
All right then, Whitney. I think I want to stay out here and smoke another pipe.
All right then. See you at breakfast.
All right. Good night, Whitney.
Good night.
Wait! lethal shots. Where there's shots, there's men. Where there's men, there's gotta be food. That's strange. Why would he try to tackle such a large animal with a 22? He's got some nerve. I guess the first 3 shots I heard were to flush him out and wound him. Looks like he finished him here. 22, huh? Oh, whoa, whoa. Now, wait a minute. Look, I'm no robber. I just fell off a yacht. My name is Sanger Rainsford of New York City. Listen now, my name is Sanger Rainsford of New York City. I fell off a yacht. I'm hungry.
It is a great pleasure to welcome celebrated hunter Mr. Sanger Rainsford to my home. I've read your book about hunting snow leopards in Tibet, you see. I am General Zaroff. Ivan is an incredibly strong fellow, but he had the misfortune to be deaf and dumb. A simple fellow, but I'm afraid, like all of his race, a bit of a savage.
Is he Russian?
He is a Cossack. So am I. Come, we shouldn't be chatting here. We can talk later. Now, you want clothes, food, rest. You shall have them. This is a most restful spot. Follow Ivan, if you please, Mr. Rainsford. I was about to have dinner when you came. Oh, wait. You'll find that my clothes will fit you, I think.
Thank you, General.
You'll have some champagne, Mr. Rainsford? We do our best to preserve the amenities of civilization here. Please forgive any lapses. We are well off the beaten track, you know. Do you think the champagne has suffered for its long ocean trip?
It's very good, not in the least.
Perhaps you were surprised that I recognized your name. You see, I read all books on hunting, published in English, French, and Russian. I have but one passion in my life, Mr. Rainsford, and it is the hunt.
You know, you have some wonderful heads here. Cape Buffalo is the biggest I ever saw.
That fellow, yes, he was a monster.
Did he charge you?
Rubbed me against a tree, fractured my skull, but I got the brute.
You know, I always thought the Cape Buffalo was the most dangerous of all big game.
No, you're wrong, sir. The Cape Buffalo is not the most dangerous big game. Here on my preserve on this island, I hunt more dangerous game.
Oh, there's big game here?
The biggest.
Really?
Oh, it isn't here naturally, of course. I have to stock the island.
So what have you imported, General? Tigers?
No, hunting tigers ceased to interest me some years ago. I exhausted their possibilities, you see. No thrill left in tigers. No real danger. I lived for danger, Mr. Rainsford. We'll have some capital hunting, you and I. I shall be most glad to have your society.
But what game?
I'll tell you. You'll be amused, I know. I think I may say in all modesty that I've done a rare thing. I've invented a new sensation. May I pour you the glass of port?
Oh, no, thank you, sir.
God makes some men poets. Some he makes kings, some beggars. Me, he made a hunter. My hand was made for the trigger, my father said. He was a very rich man with 250,000 acres in the Crimean, and he was an ardent sportsman. When I was only 5 years old, he gave me a little gun, specially made in Moscow for me to shoot sparrows with. When I shot some of his prized turkeys with it, he did not punish me. He complimented me on my marksmanship. I killed my first bear on the Caucasus when I was only 10. My whole life has been one prolonged hunt. I went into the army. It was expected of noblemen's sons, and for a time commanded a division of Cossack cavalry. But my real interest was always the hunt. I've hunted every kind of game in every land. It would be impossible for me to tell you how many animals I have killed. After the debacle in Russia, I left the country, for it was imprudent for an officer of the Tsar to stay there. Many noble Russians lost everything. I luckily had invested heavily in American securities, so I shall never have to open a tea room in Monte Carlo or drive a taxi in Paris. Naturally, I continue to hunt. Grizzlies in the Iraqis, crocodiles in the Ganges, rhinoceroses in East Africa. It was in Africa that the Cape buffalo hit me, laid me up for 6 months. As soon as I recovered, I started for the Amazon to hunt jaguars, for I had heard that they were unusually cunning. They weren't. They were no match at all for a hunter with his wits about him and a high-powered rifle. I was bitterly disappointed. I was lying in my tent with a splitting headache one night, and a terrible thought pushed its way into my mind. Hunting was beginning to bore me, and hunting, remember, had been my life. I've heard that in America, businessmen often go to pieces when they give up the business that had been their life.
Well, yes, I guess that is true.
I had no wish to go to pieces. I must do something. Now, mine is an analytical mind, Mr. Rainsford. Doubtless, that is why I enjoy the problems of the chase.
No doubt, General Zara.
So I asked myself why the hunt no longer fascinated me. You are much younger than I am, Mr. Rainsford, and have not hunted as much. But perhaps you can guess the answer.
Well, what was it?
Simply this. Hunting had ceased to be what you call a sporting proposition. It had become too easy. I always got my quarry. Always. There is no greater bore than perfection. No animal had a chance with me anymore. That is no boast. It is a mathematical certainty. The animal had nothing but his legs and his instinct. Instinct is no match for reason. When I thought of this, it was a tragic moment for me, I can tell you. It came to me as an inspiration, what I must do. I had to invent a new animal to hunt.
A new animal? You're joking.
I never joke about hunting. I needed a new animal. I found one. So I bought this island, built this house, and here I do my hunting. The island is perfect for my purposes. There are jungles with a maze of trails in them, hills, swamps.
What about the animal, General?
Oh, it supplies me with the most exciting hunting in the world. No other animal compares with it for an instant. Every day I hunt, and I never grow bored now, for I now have a quarry with which I can match my wits. I wanted an ideal animal to hunt, so I said, what are the attributes of an ideal quarry? And the answer was, of course, it must have courage, cunning, and above all, it must be able to reason.
There is no animal that can reason.
My dear fellow, there is one that can.
You can't mean...
And why not?
You can't be serious, General. This is some sort of grisly joke and I don't appreciate it.
Why should I not be serious? I'm speaking of hunting.
Hunting? Sir, you're talking about murder.
I refuse to believe that so modern and civilized a young man as you seems to be harboring romantic notions about the ideas of human life. Surely your experiences in the war have...
They did not make me condone cold-blooded murder.
How extraordinarily droll you are. One does not expect to find a young man of the educated class, even in America, with such a naive, and if I may say so, mid-Victorian point of view. It's like finding a snuff box in a limousine. Well, doubtless you had Puritan ancestors. So many Americans appear to have had. I'll wager you'll forget your notions when you go hunting with me. We've a genuine new thrill in store for you, Mr. Rainsford.
Thank you, sir. I'm a hunter, not a murderer.
Dear me, again that unpleasant word. But I think I can show you that your scruples are quite ill-founded.
Yes, well, I think not, sir.
Life is for the strong. To be lived by the strong, and if needs be, taken by the strong. The weak of this world were put here to give the strong pleasure. I am strong, why should I not use my gift? If I wish to hunt, why should I not? I hunt the scum of the earth, sailors from tramp ships, Lazars, blacks, Chinese, whites, mongrels. A thoroughbred horse or a hound is worth a score of them.
But these are human beings we're talking about.
Precisely. That's why I use them. It gives me pleasure. They can reason, after a fashion. That is why they're dangerous.
But where do you get them?
This island is called Ship Trap. Sometimes an angry god of the high seas sends them to me. Sometimes, when Providence is not so kind, I help Providence a little. Come to the window with me. Watch. Out there. They indicate a channel where there isn't one. Giant rocks with razor edges lie in wait, like a sea monster with wide open jaws. They can crush a ship as easily as I crush this nut. Oh yes, I have electricity. We try to be civilized here.
Civilized? And you shoot men down?
Dear me, what a righteous young man you are. I assure you I did not do this thing you suggest. That would be barbarous. I treat these visitors with every consideration. They get plenty of good food and exercise. They get into splendid physical condition. You shall see for yourself tomorrow.
Exactly what did you mean when you said, I shall see tomorrow?
We'll visit my training school. It's in the cellar. I have about a dozen pupils down there now. They're from the Spanish bark San Lucar that had the bad luck to run the rocks down below. A very inferior lot, I regret to say. Poor specimens, and more accustomed to the deck than to the jungle. It's a game, you see. I suggest to one of them that we go hunting. I give him a supply of food and an excellent hunting knife. I give him 3 hours start. I am to follow, armed only with a pistol of the smallest caliber in range. If my quarry eludes me for 3 whole days, he wins the game. If I find him, he loses.
Suppose he refuses to be hunted.
Oh, I give him his option, of course. He need not play the game if he doesn't wish to. If he does not wish to hunt, I turn him over to Ivan. Ivan once had the honor of serving as the official announcer to the Great White Tsar, and he has his own ideas of sport. Invariably, Mr. Ransford, invariably, they choose the hunt.
And if they win?
To date, I have not lost. I don't wish for you to think me a braggart, Mr. Ransford. Many of them afford only the most elementary sort of sport. Occasionally, I strike a target. One did almost win. I eventually had to use the dogs.
The dogs?
This way, please. I'll show you. A rather good lot, I think. They are let out at 7 every night. If anyone should try to get into my house, or out of it, something extremely regrettable would occur to him. And now, I would like to show you my new collection of heads. Will you come with me to the library?
Well, if you'll excuse me this evening, General Zarloff, I don't think I feel very well.
Well, I suppose it's only natural after your long swim. You need a good restful night's sleep. Tomorrow, you feel like a new man, I wager. Then it will hunt day. I have one rather promising prospect. Sorry you can't go with me tonight. I expect rather fair sport. A big, strong black. He looks resourceful. Well, good night, Mr. Ransford. I hope you have a good night's rest. Ah, Mr. Rainsford. I hope you're feeling well this morning. As for me, I do not feel so well. I'm worried. Last night I detected traits of my old complaint. Ennui. Boredom. The hunting was not good last night. The fellow lost his head. He made a straight trail that offered no problems at all. That's the trouble with these sailors. They have dull brains to begin with. They do not know how to get about in the woods. They do excessively stupid and obvious things. It's most annoying. Ah, I see you prefer your old clothes.
Yes, well, I don't plan on staying very long. I wish to leave this island at once.
But, dear fellow, you've only just come. You've had no hunting.
Yes, well, I wish to leave today.
Tonight, we will hunt, you and I.
No, I will not hunt.
As you wish, my friend. The choice rests entirely with you. But may I not venture to suggest that you will find my idea of sport more diverting than Ivan's?
You don't mean...
My dear fellow, have I not told you I always mean what I say about hunting? You'll find this game worth playing. Your brain against mine. Your woodcraft against mine. Your strength and stamina against mine. Outdoor chess. And the stake is not without value, eh?
What if I win?
I'll cheerfully acknowledge my self-defeat if I do not find you by midnight of the third day. My sloop will place you on the mainland near a town. Oh, you can trust me. I will give you my word as a gentleman and a sportsman. Of course, you in turn must agree to say nothing of your visit here.
I'm afraid I can't do that, General.
In that case, but why discuss that now? 3 days hence, we can discuss it over a bottle of Chablis. Unless Ivan will supply you with food and a knife. I suggest you wear the boots Ivan will provide. They will leave a poorer trail. I suggest too that you avoid the big swamp in the southeast corner of the island. We call it Death Swamp. There's quicksand there. One foolish fellow tried it. The deplorable part of it was that Lazarus followed him. You can imagine my feelings, Mr. Rainsford. I loved Lazarus. He was the finest hound in my pack. Well, I must beg you to excuse me now. I always take a siesta after lunch. You'll hardly have time for a nap, I fear. You'll want to start, no doubt. I shall not follow until dusk. Hunting at night is so much more exciting than by day, don't you think? Au revoir, Mr. Rainsford. Au revoir.
lose my nerve. I said lose my nerve.
Rainsford, if you're within the sound of my voice, and I suppose you are, let me congratulate you. Not many men have the skills to make a Malayan man-catcher, but I too have hunted in Malacca. I will leave to get this wounds dressed. It's only a slight one, but I shall be back. I shall be back. Mr. Rainsford, a Siberian tiger trap? How provincial. I would expect something a little more inventive next time.